All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Seattle Seahawks in today's video. Less than 24 hours from now, you're going to be showing down against the Miami Dolphins at home. And, we talked about it this week. This is a 2-0 team, and it's just funny how they got ridiculed against, the New England Patriots victory from week 2, their week 1 victory against the Denver Broncos. And I guess people like to say strength of schedule is the issue here, but I guess New England losing to the Jets on Thursday on a short week doesn't help, but you get the point here. Seattle's 2-0, and we did that power rankings video, and they were like 21st, even though they're literally leading the NFC West, and it just baffles me. It shocks me, but there's one huge thing I want to see this upcoming Sunday or tomorrow against the Miami Dolphins, and it's Zach Charbonnet. I want this kid to just absolutely feast, and we're going to talk about that in this offense in general and the offensive line in today's video. But before we do, shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this video. If you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. We're posting like 3 or 4 Seahawks videos a week. Love you guys as always. You guys love football. You love the Seahawks. You know what you're talking about. You know what you're watching. And it's just, I love making Seahawks videos. So if you try and get this video to 100 likes, folks, that would mean the absolute world to me. So, last Sunday, 23-20 nail-biter win against the New England Patriots. And you're missing a lot of cogs, by the way. Like, you're missing your starting right tackle. Some players on the defense got banged up. You're missing your starting running back, and it's week 2. Like, that's the most important thing, is it's week 2. And, the Patriots losing on Thursday night to the New York Jets, who I'm a biased Packers fan, so I love Aaron Rodgers, but I think the Patriots defense is so underrated. Like, I just do. They have offensive issues, but that defense is so underrated. They've been the second best up until that Jets game. They were the second best scoring defense in the NFL since November of 2023 last season. So, it's week 2. You're going to take a win, but we kind of saw a little bit too much of Geno Smith throwing the football, right? He's done a phenomenal job. 124.2 rating in the fourth quarter, 1-score games, 14-20 on third down. Like, he's just been a beast. And, we saw 2022, and I saw this like weird tidbit on Bleacher Report. They were doing like a tidbit on every team in the NFL, and this is what they said. Was the 2022 anomaly for him, or was it 2023? We should get a strong indication soon, with Miami and Detroit up next. And, if you're a Seahawks fan, like, that's not even a question. Like, the Shane Waldron, the offensive line last season, Pete Carroll, like, the coaching just wasn't there. Injuries ramped up on the offensive line, specifically with the tackles. There was like literally no run game, even though you got 2 studs in the backfield. Like, I don't want to say coaching malpractice, because I think I'm being a little bit dramatic, but like, last year was not an anomaly for Geno coming back down to earth. Like, Geno's a phenomenal quarterback. And we heard this quote from DK after that Patriots win. He said this: "It's bad for the defenses that try to cover us from here on out. You got Locke, me, Jax, and you still haven't seen Noah Fant. You saw Ken week 1. Zach Charbonnet still has to break out. I think it's just a ticking time bomb for all of our stars on offense to have their game." So, like, defensively, new head coach Mike McDonald. And on paper, like, this team is loaded. You guys are loaded. It seems like Jerome Baker's going to miss tomorrow's game. Nwosu looks like he should be back for week 4. I think Mafi's going to be able to play tomorrow. This defense has so much talent starting. They have so much talent on their bench. Young, hungry, heavy hitters. Devin Witherspoon on that defensive side. All right, guys, before we get back into this video, we're going to show you one last time, because we're running out of time here, how to bet on the Seahawks to win this NFC West division. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this video. We're going to scroll down from football. We're going to go to the NFL divisions, scroll all the way down to the NFC West, and we're going to see the Seattle Seahawks sitting here pretty at plus 280. San Fran's banged up. Los Angeles is banged up, and the Arizona Cardinals are extremely young. So just want to show you that one last time, because 24 hours from now, the Seahawks will probably be 3-0, and even more so winning the NFC West. But there's a 150% bonus on your first deposit using code YouTube150. So you've got 150% bonus on your first deposit, and then 125% on your next 2, all with the code YouTube150. Thanks, BetUS, for sponsoring this video. Go check it out. Let's get back. It's still going to be a work in progress technically, because it's a new head coach. It's a new defensive scheme, right? But I love what I've seen from the defense against Jacoby Brissett and Bo Nix through 2 weeks. And Unfortunately, or fortunately, actually, Tua is injured. Or that sounded so wrong. Unfortunately, Tua is injured, but like, thankfully for the Seattle Seahawks, like, defense isn't my concern tomorrow. Like, rush defense could be a thing. It's been an issue specifically in that Patriots game, and I don't think this is a trap game, but you never know. You go on you get the ball, or you lose the coin flip, geez. And Tyreek Hill runs one for 60, or Devin or A Chain runs one for 60, right? And you're down 7-0, and the game plans changes a little bit. I don't think it's a trap game. I think Seattle should be able to take care of business, especially at home. But like, there's one thing I want to see, and it's Zach Charbonnet. And selfishly, he's on my fantasy football team because why would I not draft Zach Charbonnet? But like, he's a huge component with a healthy Ken Walker or an injured Ken Walker. All right. In the 22 and 2023 season, Geno Smith and the Seahawks team, it's just at times been way too reliant at quarterback, right? And it worked because the Seahawks won, over 9 games in the last 2 seasons. But you got Ken Walker and you got Zach Charbonnet. Like, the Seahawks should have a top 15, top 16 run offense, and there's no questions that should be asked. Seattle ranked 11th in points per drive over the course of Geno's first 2 seasons as the Seahawks starter. He had 8 game-winning drives in those seasons. He led that category last year with 5. But then you go back to years like 2022, they were swept by the NFC South. Every team in that division had a losing record. They were 3-7 against playoff teams. They lost 4 straight playoff teams at one point in that season. And I just saw a little bit too remnants that I don't know how to say that. Like, there were too many remnants of that 2022 and 2023 season that carried over. And yeah, I get it. It's week 2, but like, Geno Smith dropped back 48 times. He threw 44 footballs. And you won in overtime, and that's just something you don't want to see. Zach Charbonnet only had 38 rushing yards, but Geno completed a career-high 33 passes. They had 200-yard receivers. Jackson Smith-Njigba was one of them, and that was his first of his NFL career. But the run game has to improve, and I think Miami's a really good opportunity for it, especially if they get off to an early lead, considering Tua is not healthy, right? Entering week 3, the Seahawks ranked second to last in EPA per play on running back carries. That's ahead of only the Las Vegas Raiders and Zamir White in that running back room. Granted, they had a comeback win and they had to throw the football, but still. The Seahawks are 25th in yards per carry at 3.6, and they're 21st in yards at 153. They're only 28th in success rate. And once again, keep in mind, stud Ken Walker III was injured for week 2, and he probably is not going to suit up tomorrow. But when I look at a team like Miami, I see a team that's allowed running backs to average 5 yards per carry. That's tied for 5th in the NFL. They also rank 21st in defensive success rate on running back carries. So this is where I want to see Charbonnet, have that breakout game that DK Metcalf was talking about. His yards before contact, it's negative. That means he's hit early and often in the backfield before he even reaches the line of scrimmage. Unfortunately, George Fant is out for tomorrow's game. So 3rd string right tackle, the right guard position, Christian Hayes, very excited about him long term, but they've been rotating Bradford and Haynes, and it's just, that's not sustainable. But Zach Charbonnet is one of the 5 qualifying running backs whose average is negative. Like, how's that a statistic? Minimum 10 carries in the backfield, by the way. The Seahawks rank 31st in run block win rate according to ESPN. So that's why, okay? That is why. So I'm not a coach. I'm not an offensive coordinator. We're going to leave that up to Ryan Grubb and this offense to figure it out for tomorrow's game. But I highly anticipate, not only because he's on my fantasy team and I want him to, but I highly anticipate a huge game from Zach Charbonnet if Ken Walker ultimately is ruled out, which he probably will be by the time you guys watch this video. But I just wanted to make this fun little Seahawks video for you guys talking about that rush offense. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content, a ton of Seahawks videos every single week. And also shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this video. Hopefully, folks, a little over 24 hours or around 24 hours from the time of this recording, we will have a victory recap and the Seattle Seahawks will be 3-0. Give me Zach Charbonnet's rushing statistics for tomorrow's game down below. Peace.